Top 5 Shocking Hygiene Habits of Queen Elizabeth. Queen Elizabeth I is remembered as one of the most powerful monarchs in history, the Virgin Queen who defied enemies, defeated the Spanish Armada, and turned England into a rising world power. In portraits, she appears radiant and untouchable, draped in jewels and silks, her face pale and flawless, as if time itself could not touch her. But beneath the mask of glory lay a secret truth. Elizabeth was terrified of appearing weak, terrified of age, and terrified of anything that might shatter the image she worked so hard to build. And nowhere is this clearer than in her hygiene, a strange, unsettling collection of habits that, by today's standards, seem not only unhealthy, but downright shocking. Tonight, we reveal 5 of the most disturbing hygiene practices of Queen Elizabeth I. Each one gives us a glimpse into the fragile humanity behind the legend and the dangerous lengths she went to in order to preserve her illusion of perfection. 1. Sugar and teeth. Elizabeth adored sugar, candied fruits, marzipan, sugared almonds, syrup-soaked pastries. At a time when most of her subjects had never even tasted sugar, she consumed it daily, turning it into a symbol of her wealth and England's growing trade power. But her sweet tooth came at a terrifying price. Dental care was crude, and Elizabeth's attempt at toothpaste, a mix of herbs and sugar, only sped up the decay. Her once proud smile turned black and rotten. Ambassadors described her foul breath, her missing teeth, and her garbled speech. The Queen, however, would not submit to the pain of extraction. She was so terrified of dental surgery that a courtier once had a healthy tooth pulled in front of her, screaming in agony, simply to prove it wasn't fatal. And in perhaps the strangest twist of all, noble women blackened their own teeth with soot to copy her, making decay a fashion statement. Imagine it, in Elizabeth's court, a ruined smile meant beauty. 2. Rare bathing. The quote, "I bathe once a month whether I need it or not," may never have passed her lips, but it captures the truth of her age. Water was feared, seen as a carrier of disease and weakness. Bathing wasn't a habit, it was a risk. Instead, Elizabeth relied on ritual. She changed her linen underclothes several times a day, believing the fabric drew away dirt and sweat. Her maids would dab her body with rose water, vinegar, or perfumed herbs, a process designed not to cleanse, but to maintain an illusion of freshness. To draw a bath for the Queen was an event in itself. Hauling water, heating it in great cauldrons, and filling a wooden tub large enough for a monarch. It required time, labor, and ceremony. No wonder it was rare. Yet in her gowns of silk and velvet, perfumed and powdered, she seemed spotless. To her court, the illusion mattered more than the truth. 3. Deadly makeup. Perhaps the most chilling of Elizabeth's habits was her devotion to cosmetics. To preserve her ageless mask, she coated her face in Venetian ceruse, a blend of white lead and vinegar. It gave her the luminous, porcelain look admired by all, but slowly poisoned her from within. The lead corroded her skin, creating sores and scars. Her solution: more makeup. Thicker layers, painted higher and higher, until her face became a rigid mask. Her lips, stained with mercury-based pigments, revealed another danger: tremors, mood swings, and memory loss that many historians now attribute to poisoning. Still, she refused to be seen as anything less than perfect. Portrait painters were forbidden from depicting her true face. They used a pattern mask, an official template that always showed her as young and flawless. By candlelight, she appeared eternal. By daylight, she avoided mirrors altogether. In her final years, whispers claimed that her face was so fragile that touching it could cause the layers of paint to crack and fall away. Imagine the Queen of England, ruler of an empire, terrified not of armies or assassins, but of her own reflection. 4. Perfume over water. Elizabeth's body was never scrubbed clean in the modern sense. Instead, it was transformed into a living fragrance. Her maids prepared rose water, lavender oil, and herbal infusions to anoint her skin. She carried pomanders, small jeweled spheres filled with spices, to block unpleasant odors and remind everyone that she was not like them. Her gloves were perfumed, her handkerchiefs soaked in scented oils, and her hair stiffened with sugar water before being powdered. As her natural hair fell out from years of toxins, she wore extravagant wigs, always auburn, always youthful. The Queen became a walking garden of scents, a body designed to be admired, but never touched. Every smell was a message: I am above you. I do not reek of humanity, I am something more. 5. A palace of waste. If Elizabeth's appearance was immaculate, her surroundings told a different story. Her palaces sparkled with jewels, gold, and tapestries, but beneath the beauty lay filth. There were no flushing toilets. The queen herself used a cushioned chair with a chamber pot beneath, attended by the groom of the stool, a nobleman entrusted with both her most private needs and her political secrets. Elsewhere, chamber pots overflowed, cesspits reeked. Waste collectors hauled human filth through the night, dumping it into pits or streams. Straw scattered across the floors absorbed food, hair, and dirt. Rotting beneath layers of perfume, the stench grew unbearable. Elizabeth's court often moved from palace to palace, not only for politics, but to escape the smell. Behind the velvet curtains and golden halls, the queen ruled in a world that reeked of decay, the illusion of perfection. For Elizabeth, hygiene was never about health, it was about control. Every ritual, from painting her face with poison, to perfuming her body, to hiding her decay behind silk, was part of a performance. She knew the danger of being seen as vulnerable. In her world, a queen could not afford to be human. To wash too often was to risk smudging the mask. To show her real face was to risk losing her power. In the end, Elizabeth I chose the illusion over the truth. Her body may have rotted beneath layers of sugar, lead, and perfume, but her image endured, untouchable, eternal, legendary. And that, perhaps, was her greatest performance of all.